one. Let's get started just like usual. We're gonna sit up nice and tall, feeling that length through our vertebrae here. Okay, nice neutral spine. We're gonna chin tuck back for 10. Ready? And begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's maintain that length through our spine. And now we're going to do our head turns side to side, 5 each direction. Ready? Begin. 1, back to center. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so on to the next part, which is our warm-up. We're going to do an extended warm-up today. It's going to be a little under 10 minutes long, and we've got, 4 exercises. It's going to encompass our core work as well as our warm-up. So our first one is going to be our 4-count cherry picker. If you're seated, it looks like this. Reach out, reach middle, reach in and up. And if you're standing, same thing. You guys know the drill. You've been with me here, okay? 4-count cherry picker. The next exercises, I'm going to suggest doing them from the chair. Although you can do, if you're advanced, you can do the dead bug from the floor, okay? Which I'll show, but I'm going to suggest just for flow, let's do it from the chair, okay? So I am sitting on my chair here, and what the seated dead bug is going to look like is my legs are extended. I can have some bend in my knees, okay? But basically when my left leg lifts up, my right arm lifts up. Opposite hand and leg, okay? All right. Trying to keep a neutral spine. I am kind of leaning back slightly, okay? All right, all right, dead bug. Now what this looks like from the floor, okay? And this is for only advanced, okay? You're gonna tuck your pelvis so your spine is imprinted on the floor, your knees and your bent knees, fingertips up, okay? You're going to drop your right arm and your left leg, and then the other, okay? Keeping that imprinted spine. So this is only for my advanced people that really wanna challenge themselves. I'm gonna stay seated, okay? Just for flow purposes here. And then our last one, or I'm sorry, we have 2 more. Then we're gonna do an overhead side bend. You can do this standing or from your chair. And then we're gonna do hay balers, okay? I recommend these seated because I really would like to see your hips forward. You're going to grab the hay, bale it, okay? So nice abdominal work through our obliques here, okay? The second set's gonna be on the other side. We're doing 2 rounds of this, okay? 40 seconds each, 10 seconds transition. Okay, so let's get ready. This is our warm-up. That's also our core work as well. We're starting with the 4-count cherry picker, seated or standing for this one. Okay, I'm gonna do standing. Feet are wider than shoulder width apart. Let's get ready and begin. So I'm reaching outwards, middle, inwards, and up. Neutral spine, feeling that hinge at the hip. All right, glutes get pushed back towards the wall behind us. Trying to keep my neck in line with my spine. Warming up the posterior side of the body, that back side. Especially if you're standing, you're gonna feel this in your hamstrings. 5 more seconds here. 2, and 1. Okay, if you're very advanced and you understand the dead bug exercise, you can go ahead and like on the floor, keeping that spine imprinted, or you're gonna sit with me, right? Here we go. Opposite hand and foot. Nice and controlled and slow. Feel your core working here. You can kind of lean back slightly into your seat here. Good, we've got alternating side bends next, and I do recommend doing these seated so we can get a little more into the core today with it. 2 and 1, okay? So we're just gonna alternate side to side. We're gonna reach and reach, okay? Here we go. So up and over, like where the wall and the ceiling meet in that corner, you're kind of driving your fingertips up to that. So it's up and over, right? Versus just a really hard over, right? Up and over. Find that length through your side. Get a nice stretch. Working our obliques. Warming up our shoulders and lats. Two and 1. Good. Okay, so now we're going to do our hay balers. Okay, so I don't want you to think of it as going down. I want you to think of as pulling up and over. Okay, so here we go. We're picking the hay up, over. If you want to hold a water bottle in your hand or something, just up. If you feel like that helps, keep your hands in line, you can do that. It's not about the weight, it's about that rotation through the obliques. Right, I'm picking the hay up with the pitchfork and I'm bailing it over my head. Boom, gone. Gone, all right? 3, 2, 1, okay. Deep breath, we gotta do that on the other side, okay? And this could make you, if you feel dizzy, slow it down or take an extra, a longer break, okay? You know, sometimes that rotation, especially, you know, hopefully everyone's had a little bite to eat or something, but I know sometimes if I try to do certain exercises and I only have a little bit of coffee in my stomach, I can definitely feel a little dizzy. So assess your body, move at your own pace. I'm exhaling as I'm bailing that hay over, up and over my shoulder, creating this rotational movement. 3, 2, and time. Good. Back to the top. We're doing one more round through, okay? So seated or standing, we're going back to our 4 count cherry picker. Ready? And begin. Reaching outward. Middle. And do it from the side. That way you can kind of see what I mean when I say out, middle, in, up, right? You don't have to touch the floor. You're just, you know, you're just going where your body wants to stop, okay? It's not about forcing, it's about warming up. Ten more seconds here. And we're gonna go back to that seated dead bug. If you're advanced, you can do this from the floor. Definitely more challenging from the floor. And time. Although I do get a nice sensation of core work from this seated variation too. I'm really liking this. Here we go. Opposite hand and foot. So remember, nice and slow and controlled here too, right? I have a soft knee, but I am trying to keep it extended unless that's too much pressure on your back. Then you can go ahead and do a complete bent knee here, okay? That just, you know, is where you need to be. Otherwise, a little bit of length through that leg is going to make it a little more challenging. Remember that opposite hand and foot pattern is so good for our brain too, right? For our cognitive health. 2 and 1, okay. We are going into our side bend, so we're going into our obliques here. So we just got the full core here, and we're going to get the sides. Here we go. We're also warming up the shoulders and lats. I'm suggesting sitting down for this one. I feel like you can feel the stretch through the abdominal section a little more, but if you prefer to stand, that's okay too. Remember, so it's up and over, right? Versus just this like extreme side bend, right? We're thinking of the length we create as well. 2 and 1. Okay, we are back to those hay balers. Pick a side to start with. Remember, we're baling the hay from the bottom up and over to the top. Okay, ready? Begin. All right, exhale as I rotate up and over. Remember, if you want, I find it helpful to use that water bottle or a 1 or 2 pound dumbbell. Kind of makes you feel like your arms have something to grasp onto and kind of keeps it a little tighter, I guess. It's not about the weight. It's about a heavy weight here. It's just about kind of having something to hold on to. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's even out and get that other side, getting our rotational ab work in. All right, and in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. We're going to move into a 12-minute block next. We've got 4 exercises. Ten more seconds. Woo. And 1. Okay. All right. So there is our first section, our warm up and ab work kind of combined in one. We have a 12-minute block next. It's 4 exercises. We're going to do AB, AB, ABCD. Okay. Squats and seal jacks are our first AB. Okay. So if you're seated, you're going to do an alternating leg extension in lieu of your squat. Okay. And your seal jack seated looks like this. Okay. All right, so there are your 2 options here for seated. And then if you're standing, we'll do a goblet squat. You can even choose to do a chair squat if you like that better, okay? We're gonna sink it down, drive it up, okay? And then we're pairing that with squeeze, 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 okay? So I'm pulling those shoulder blades back, all right? I'm working that upper back, I'm stretching the front, I'm working these glute knees, okay? Then we're going to do our ground to overhead, depending on your weights. If you have 2 weights that are lighter, you can put them side by side, just like this, okay? And feet are shoulder width, or I'm sorry, right outside the shoulders. Pick it up, put it away, right? Ground to overhead, okay? If overhead is too much, ground, shoulders. Ground, shoulders, take it out, okay? And then if your 2 weights is too much, you may opt to hold one like this, okay? Ground, 2, overhead, okay? So you pick how you wanna hold your weights there, or if you just wanna go through a body weight and just get that movement, do that. Lateral 3 count high knee. 1, 2, 3, hold. Okay, if you want to advance it, hot stand. Ouch, 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 right? Ouch, ouch, ouch. You're turning it into a shuffle. Okay, that's your advanced option. Seated, 1, 2, 3, hold. 1, 2, 3, hold, okay? And ground to overhead or ground, shoulders. Ground, shoulders, okay? All right, let's get into this block. We're starting with goblet squats or an alternating seated leg extension. Okay, you pick which one works for you. I'm going to do a goblet squat with 1 weight. Okay, this is a heavier weight, so that's why I'm using 1. All right, let's get ready. 45 seconds and begin. So my heels are about shoulder width apart, sinking down. Okay, you go through your range of motion, wherever that is. Show you my side view. You can see form here. I'm really driving my heels on the way up. Squeeze, right? 10 more seconds here. And we'll put our weight aside if you're using one. 3, 2, and 1, okay? Seal jacks are next. So we're coming back, okay? Back with those arms. All right, let's get ready. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Think of those shoulder blades are what's pulling those arms back, right? That's where the movement starts. You think about it, it's not like your hands are responsible for moving your shoulder blades back, right? Your shoulder blades are responsible for pulling them back. So you think, put your thought there. Really helps develop that mind-muscle connection. Good, almost there, 5 seconds. 2, and 1. Woo, okay. Squats or a alternating seated leg extension, okay? So if you're standing, we're getting back to where those heels are shoulder width apart, toes are slightly flared out. Let's get ready, begin, sink it down, drive it out. Remember, you can make this into a chair squat if you prefer it. Keep those knees pushed outwards towards the direction of the toe. You feel the knees caving inwards. You gotta make sure you're doing your best. Try to keep them out. Drive through the heels, squeeze on the way up. 10 more seconds. 2, and time. Good. Back to our seal jacks, okay? Seated or standing. In 5, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. We're moving to our second AB next, which is that ground overhead option. Exercise, I mean. And then our lateral 3 count high knee, or if you're advanced and you want to make it a shuffle, you can do that as well. And remember, if you're advanced here, forgot to mention in the first set, you can put a couple regular in. If you're with me, you know that though. If you see me every Tuesday, you know. 5, 3, 2, and time on those, okay. Ground overhead, okay? So you can pick 2 lighter dumbbells or 1 heavier dumbbell, all right? Seated or standing, your feet are shoulder width apart, toes are forward, okay? So different from our squat now, boom, look. Now we're here, right? 2 overhead. Push the hips back, creating a neutral spine. So different from our squat pattern, this is our deadlift pattern. 2 staples in lower body exercise right here. This is going to focus on the back of the legs a little more. The squat gets into the quadricep, the front of the leg a little more. 2, and 1. Okay, weight aside. Lateral 3 count high knee, or you can turn it into a shuffle, okay? And remember, seated, you're just not going lateral, just 1, 2, 3, and hold, okay? Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3. So here's our in-between option, which may be the perfect spot for you, so. And if not, maybe hot coals, hot sand, okay? or maybe a combination of the two. Five more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay. Round 2. Back to that ground to overhead. 2 lighter weights or 1 heavier one. Feet are shoulder width apart. Toes are forward. Okay, just like this. Seated or standing. Here we go. Ground. 2. Don't mind that timer. Nice and controlled. Picking it up and putting it away. I'm trying to keep my belly button pulled back towards my spine, right? To protect my lower back, especially, and keeping my glutes squeezed, especially as I'm right here, as I'm putting it away, okay? Just keep the glutes engaged. And remember, if overhead is no good, you're right here. Down, curl, okay? You're just taking the overhead out if it's compromising the safety of your shoulder. Almost there. 2 and 1. Excellent. Let's get ready for our lateral 3 count high knee. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Second set of these. 2. Seated or standing. And if you want to rev it up, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whatever feels right. We're going back to the top with squats next for one more round through of all 4 exercises. 10 more seconds. 2 and 1. Okay. Not done yet, but get your drinks whenever you need them, okay? Back to squats, all the way back to the top. So heels are shoulder width apart, toes flared outwards, right? Chest stays high here. See the difference between our hinge, right? Our ground to overhead. See how our chest stays upwards? Our gaze is in front of us versus looking at some spot on the floor in front of us. Drive straight up. Lower it down. Drive up. Good. 10 more seconds. We're going to go into our CL jacks. 3, 2, and time on those. Okay. Weight aside. CL jacks are next. Seated or standing. In 3, 2, and 1. Maybe you want to do a couple regular. Your call. You do what feels appropriate. And what feels good one day may not necessarily feel good the next. Remember that. It's okay to feel different on different days. I know this rainy weather has me feeling a little groggy this morning. 2 and 1. Whew, okay. Moving on to our ground to overhead. 2 lighter weights or 1 heavier weight. Okay. Seated or standing. Feet are still shoulder width apart, but the toes are forward now, right? And look, different from our squat. Look how my chest is facing the ground now. As I come up, keep those glutes squeezed as you put the weight away, right? Overhead. And if overhead is no good, just take it to the shoulder right here, okay? Good, 10 more seconds. And then we're on our final exercise for this block. 2, time, okay? Final exercise for this block is our lateral 3 count high knee, okay? Seated or standing, let's get ready and begin. 1, 2, 3. Opposite hand and foot. The real challenge is boom, 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 gaining that momentum and then having to stop it on one foot. Boom, boom, boom. This is your workout. You make it work for you. Mixing up intensities, getting your drinks when you need it. And time, okay. Recover, guys. Next, we dabbled in this last Tuesday. It's a Tabata pyramid. 2 exercises, okay? And the way the clock runs, there's always 10 seconds of recovery in between, but it goes 20 seconds, and 10 seconds recovery, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 40, and then 50, and then 50, 40, 30, and 20, okay? So it's always that 10 seconds in between. So it's called a pyramid because it makes a pyramid, right? It's 6 minutes long. Your 2 exercises are our hinge and row, right? So feet right underneath the hips now, not wide, but right here, okay? All right, as my hips push back, I come forward, right? Row, squeeze the glutes to stand back up, right? Hinge and row. Same thing seated. Hinge, row. Okay? And then we're gonna do that with a body weight side step. So just like our seal jack, we're getting more in, but just changing it up slightly. So now we're gonna have more of a bend. We're gonna make a W. And instead of out like this, right, we're doing our side steps. So getting more sets of this cardio in, okay? Just kind of switching up the movement a little. Okay, so that is what we're doing, all right? We're starting with 20 seconds of your hinge and row. So you're gonna grab your weights, okay? Remember, this works, the hinge part works this part of your body right here and into your lower back, all through here. And the row right here is working here, okay? So we're getting the whole back side of the body with this combination, not to mention core, okay? All right, we're starting with only 20 seconds of this though, okay? It's gonna increase as we go along. All right, so let me just find my pyramid, there it is. Hinge and row, seated or standing. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, remember, feet right under the hips, toes forward. My knees are not locked out, but they've got some straightness to them. My knees aren't coming over my toes, okay? It's not a squat, right? Really using the glutes, and boom, that was 20 seconds right there. Weights aside, side step with W fly for 30 seconds now, okay? Here we go. Okay, so now we're up to 30. When we go back to hinge and row next, we're doing it for 40 seconds. Still thinking of those shoulder blades as pulling together so that my arms open up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Deep breath. We got 10 seconds. We're going back to our hinge and row. Grabbing your weights, Feet under hips, toes forward, ready, begin. Lower down, row it. Use the glutes to stand up. Good, we're halfway. Ten more seconds here. 2, and time. Good. Weights aside. We're at the top of the pyramid with our side step W flies. Okay, we're going for 50 seconds now, 50. Here we go. I want you to feel that upper back working, okay? Keep that mind muscle connection to those shoulder blades like you're trying to crack an egg between the shoulder blades. Feel that movement. Feeling that extra time now? We got 10 more seconds, okay? Whew. We're at the peak of the pyramid here. 2, and 1. Recover. We're not done with that peak though. Now we have 50 seconds. We're on the other side of it of hinge and row, okay? Deep breath. Feet under hips, toes forward. Here we go. Take some extra rest time if you need it. We're working the largest muscle groups in the body. All right, our glutes and our lats for the upper body, glutes for the lower body. Get a lot of bang for our buck with this exercise. These are big muscle groups right now. 10 more seconds. 2, and 1. Woo, okay. Moving back down the ladder, for the pyramid rather, we have 40 seconds of our W fly, okay? Here we go. I love pyramid workouts in general. Maybe we'll do a full pyramid workout sometime because your warm-up is built in by those lower periods of, those lower intervals. And then your cool down's also built in because you end with the lower intervals as well. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. 30 seconds now. Hinge and row. Okay. Let's get ready and begin. Final set of these. Keeping my navel pulled back towards my spine. Remember, you want a nice neutral spine. Your head's in line with the rest of your spine. 5, 2, and 1. Okay, all done with those. We're finishing off with 20 seconds of our side step and W fly. Then we move on. Ready? Here we go. Two, and 1. Okay, rest, guys. Rest. Okay, so we have another 12-minute block. With this one, It's 4 exercises again. We're just gonna do 3 straight rounds through, okay? Your exercises are our gorilla row to stand. So we're back in that ground to head. This is our deadlift position, our ground to overhead. So see, my feet are about shoulder width apart here. Toes are forward, right? Hinge. You see that, my neutral spine? I'm almost, you don't necessarily have to be parallel with the floor. Your body may not want to go that far, but what you do want to have is that nice straightness, right? We don't want to be rounded because this will put a lot of stress right here. Okay, so we're trying to pull up and back. So even if you're here, I'm not parallel to the floor, but this is the proper position, nice and neutral, okay? We're going to row, row, squeeze the glutes up, row, row, right? So now we're rowing from the inside of our feet versus our hinge and row, right? Row, row, squeeze up, okay? Looks the same seated. Row, row, squeeze up, okay? After that, lunges, okay? So if you're seated, you're gonna do those alternating seated leg presses right here. Excellent exercise. Whew, these are good, okay? Or you can hold on to the back of your chair. I'm just gonna pretend right now. Lunge, lunge. You could do that from the side of your chair with one hand or no hands if you're advanced, okay? And then after that, we're gonna do tricep kickbacks. So I'm just bent a little bit through the hips. All right, and we're gonna kick back the whole time. All right, nice and concentrated here. You can do this from your seat if you're having any discomfort in your lower back from like leaning over slightly. Try it from your seat, just as good, okay? All right, and your last one, we did these last week. We're gonna do, I'm not gonna move my chair just yet. I'm gonna show you from behind. Remember, we did these alternating donkey kicks. Okay, so I'm pressing with the heel of my foot, like I'm trying to close a door, right, with the heel of my foot, okay? And from seated, you're just gonna come back to it. It is a little different here, but it's hard to replicate this one from a seated, so we're gonna do a leg extension again, okay? All right, so just 3 rounds straight through this time. 45 seconds is going on the clock. Should be nice and recovered now. We're gonna start with that alternating gorilla row to stand. So remember, toes are facing forward, feet are shoulder width, right? Because we wanna have room in between our legs to row and row, okay? All right, let's get ready. Take your weight in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So still working the posterior side of the body like we did in our last set. Just switching up the foot position and going to single arm rows for the upper body. A lot of work in the back of the body. That's where you should feel it. Really using the glutes. You got to squeeze on the way up. Boom. 2 and 1. Okay. Whew. Lunges are next, guys, or a seated alternating leg press. Okay. I am going to do my lunges just like this today. Okay. Step it back. And you might find, oh, you know what, I can do a couple lunges without holding on to anything. And then once my body feels a little fatigued, I need to go back to holding on a little bit, right? That's a nice way to gradually progress yourself and challenge yourself without overwhelming your nervous system in the process, right? Just gradual. Knowing when to push and when to pull back. 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Lighter weights here. Tricep kickbacks are next, okay? Lighter weight. All right, elbows stay close to the body. Just a slight hinge, soft knee, right? Here we go. So when my arms are out long here, squeeze. That's when I'm talking to that tricep muscle. Isolation work right here, right? Just trying to tone up the back of the arms there, the underside of the arms. Two, and one. Okay, weight aside. We're going to do our standing donkey kicks. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to either the wall or the back of your chair for some support, right? And I'm going to use the heel of my foot. Close the door behind me, right? Close it, right? So keep that glute turned on. As you come out this way, you want to feel a nice engagement through here. And what you're also doing is you're getting a nice extension through the front of the leg, okay? Isolation work for the glutes. Single leg isolation work helps turn them on. Let's get a little stretch in the front of the hip flexor. 5, 3, and time. Okay, back to the top. All gorilla row, seated or standing. You're gonna go back to a heavier weight if you're using more than one set of dumbbells, okay? Feet are shoulder width apart, toes are forward, right? We're gonna push the hips back, hinge. Show this from the side. If you feel like it's a lot of stress on your lower back, maybe adjust, maybe take away the weights and go through a body weight. Or take a little extra recovery time. We have 15 more seconds left. Lunging is next. 2, and 1. Okay, get ready for your lunges. Take your drinks when you need it. Three, 2, and 1. Here we go. Remember, both hands on the back of a chair, one hand on the side of the chair, no hands but chair near you, or an alternating seated leg press. Remember, quality is more important than the quantity. You want to make sure you're giving good, clean reps, performing the exercise correctly so you get the maximum benefit out of it. Which is stronger and leaner, more muscular tone and definition when performed correctly. And time. Okay, back to our tricep kickbacks, isolation work for the back of the arms here. Ready? And begin. I have a soft knee. My hips are pushed back slightly. I'm also really drawing in right here. I'm trying to pull my belly button back towards my spine here, right? And then when my arms are extended long, talking to those triceps, squeeze. Just think of them tightening up. Just think of them squeezing and trying to get them as tight as possible when your arms are lengthened. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, Weights aside, we're gonna do those alternating donkey kickbacks. Remember, if you're seated, okay, you're gonna give me alternating leg extensions. That's more quad focused, but we still wanna keep you moving while we're doing this one here, okay? 2 and 1. So flexed foot, I'm using my heel to close the door behind me. Boom, close it. Really thinking of squeezing that individual glute muscle as I'm pushing that heel back. Engage it, okay? Stay very present and focused and make that mind muscle connection. Talk to that glute. Is your foot flexed? If you're feeling a lot of pressure in your lower back, try not pressing as far back with that heel. 2 and time. One more round through, guys, okay? Final set of our alternating gorilla row to stand, seated or standing, okay? I'm using my heavier weights for this one. If you're using multiple pairs of weights, you might find it's best to stay with the lighter ones if you're feeling any lower back pressure, okay? Here we go. Yeah. I want you to take a moment to look at the straightness of my back here. And with this second rep here, sometimes you might not be able to get parallel, but look, right here, I'm still neutral, but I'm not going as far down, and that's okay. The form is proper, right? And time, all done with those. Final set of lunging or alternating seated leg press, okay? Deep breath. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. You might even find all I need is to rest my pinky or my pointer finger on the chair. Sometimes that's enough, right? So you're really helping to increase the challenge by using a lot less surface area to hold on to. But it still is enough to help keep you going just by that little pointer finger down. We're almost done these. We've got 10 more seconds. We're back to triceps. Woo, and time, okay. Triceps are next, right? Trying to tighten up all that underarm skin there, okay? So soft knee, a little bend through the hip, hips are pushed back slightly, squeeze. Lighter weights here, guys. The triceps are a smaller muscle group, right? Think about the difference in size your triceps are to your glutes, okay? There's a big difference in size, right? So you pick your weight accordingly, right? The larger the muscle group, the more weight it's able to handle, okay? If I were to select a weight that was too heavy for my triceps, it's faulty thinking to think the heavier weight is going to make the muscle stronger or more toned. It's counterproductive because it just makes your body have to recruit all sorts of muscles it's not supposed to. Time to do that exercise, and it actually increases your chance of injury when you do too heavy of a weight. Final exercise. Donkey kickbacks, okay? Here we go. Right, my belly button is pulled back, right? Like you're saying cheese for the camera and you're sucking it all in there. That's what I'm doing, right? Using the heel of my foot. Boom, close the door. Close the door. Remember, you don't have to overextend it. If it's hurting your lower back, do less extension, right? And just focus on that glute squeeze. I mean, that's the most important part, trying to create that mind muscle connection. Two, and 1. Okay, guys, rest up. We have one more block, 6 minutes long. It's a Tabata pyramid again. Okay, so that 20, 30, 40, 50, 50, 40, 30, 20 again. And we've been doing these the past 2 weeks. We're gonna end with the bang, okay? Ball pass, all right? If you wanna hold on to a bottle of water, I would suggest 1 pound or no weight or just a bottle of water if you just like to feel like you're passing something, okay? But this is gonna be conditioning. We're gonna get our heart rate up here, okay? So our 3-way ball pass, so I'm gonna pass it to you, pass it to the side, back to you, other side, right? So we get this little pop and pivot with the lower body as we press with the upper body, okay? All right, seated, you're just gonna do your boom, 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 boom. Okay, you're not gonna worry about the lower body because you're gonna be seated. All right, we're pairing that with our sweep and shoot. Pick the ball up, shoot. Remember, if it's too much to come up onto your toes, just take that part out and shoot from both feet planted on the floor, okay? All right, and seated, you're just gonna keep your feet wide the whole time. They're not gonna move, okay? You're gonna pick the ball up, shoot. Pick the ball up, shoot, okay? All right, so let's get ready. 6 minutes is going on the clock. We're starting with just 20 seconds first, okay? So Tabata pyramid, we're done after this pyramid. 3-way ball pass. Ready? And begin. Center, pivot. So this little pop and pivot. Pop and pivot. Pop, pivot. Three, 2, and 1. Sweep and shoot is next, okay? 30 seconds of sweep and shoot now. Climbing up at the pyramid. Get ready and begin. Pick it up and shoot. Remember, the calf raise is an option. If you feel like you're going to lose your balance, take that out, okay? We're working the heart here to finish off, right? Full body movements. Getting every joint going. 2, and 1, okay? Pivot and pass, okay? 3-way ball pass. 40 seconds. Ready? Begin, okay? Check yourself here, okay? Check in with yourself. This is one of those ones that is gonna sneak up on you. More intensity than it seems, especially when we get to the top of this pyramid. So slow it down if you need to. See how you feel in those 10 seconds periods where we're transitioning. If you need to get a drink and take some extra rest, do that. Three, 2, and 1. Okay. Good. Moving up the ladder here. We're going back to our sweep and shoot. Here we go. We're at 50 seconds. Top of the ladder for this one. This one's always sneaky to me because I think it's fun, right? You guys know I like my lateral movements. I find this one to be very fun. So I don't realize the intensity I'm putting into it until I stop doing it. And then I'm like, ooh, I'm really feeling that. Almost there, 5 more seconds. And then we have 50 seconds of our ball pass. And time, okay. Assess how you're feeling. We got another 50 seconds of work. Ready? And begin. Pop, pivot, pop, pivot. Go at your pace. It can be slower than mine. Getting a lot of upper body pressing here. Press, press. Going back to 40 seconds of our sweep and shoot on the other side of the pyramid after this. Two and one. Okay. Whew. Sweep and shoot. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, especially if you're feeling really elevated. Here we go. Think about how these movements, just like this, we're picking something up off the floor, right? These good body mechanics can help when we're with our grandkids, right? We need that, and they're little and they need help getting up or something like that, right? These exercises can translate into things you're doing, you know, in real life. Okay, time. All right, almost there, guys. 30 seconds of three-way ball pass. Okay, last set. Here we go. Press, pivot, pop, pivot. Five more seconds. 2 and 1. Final round, just 20 seconds of our sweep and shoot, okay? 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Sweep, shoot. Only 20 seconds. We're done after this. 10 more to go. 5. And time. All right, guys, recover. Nice work. Very brief warm out, cool down today. I'm running just a tad behind. So let's just, seated or standing here, we're just going to stretch out that neck and trap as our heart rate comes back down, okay? Big inhale and exhale. Same thing, other side. Excellent. All right, we're going to do our forward fold. This is a pretty good stretch for the shoulders and the lower back and the back of the legs here. So we get a lot of stretching out of this one, a lot of muscle stretches out of this one movement. You can gently sway your hips side to side only if it feels good for you. Otherwise, you can stay completely still as well. Good. And then gently walk it up. Let's just do some flexing and pointing of the ankle. And then some circles each direction, about 5. Okay. Same thing, other side. And 5 and 5 circles each direction. And then quick cool down today so we can get you out on time. Inhale, exhale, palms to center. One more nice big inhale, palms together, exhale, palms to heart. All right, guys. I hope you liked the format today. I thought it was kind of fun. I do like those Tabata pyramids. Hopefully you enjoyed them too.